What's up, gamers? Welcome to Heads Up Display. We're going to give you a well-rounded review of all the hottest games and all the latest news from the most recent gaming expos. Today we're doing Remember Me, and with me I have...
Lawrence Sierra.
And...
I'm Robin Hazlett.
Okay, so we're going to jump right into gameplay for you. Robin, how'd you feel about the controls for the game with the fighting and the platforming?
As far as the fighting issue, I thought it was funny because we're playing a Capcom game, and it was all about you have to push these certain buttons in this sequential order.
Almost like a QuickTime event.
Surprise. I did like you could change it, which was, you know, an interesting deviation, but I just wasn't really sold on it.
I feel the same way. You know, the way you could build your own combos was interesting. There's not very many games out there that let you just map out how you want to perform your combos. They usually just throw a huge wad of combos that you let you pick your own.
I really like the gameplay and fighting. I mean, there was one thing that, Robin, you said you didn't like for the platforming. There's this little orange dot, little bug that's always right there where you need to go.
That
just mapping
chevron
out.
just kills me.
Well, see, I liked it because I don't like platforming a lot. Unless it's dedicated for something like, I guess, Super Meat Boy or, I say Doodle Jump, but that's the first thing I can come up with. I'm so sorry. But I liked it because it gave me a path, and I don't like going, oh, can I go here, here, here? But overall, the game, I liked it. It could have been much better. I don't like having to say, just throw more money at it, and it could have been better, but if you threw more money at it, this game could have been.
But honestly, I feel the same way, you know. Looking at, you know, we'll get into the story here in a little bit, but with the gameplay, if they had a lot of good ideas, but they had too many good ideas. They had all this thing going on, didn't have enough time to concentrate on each and every one of them. If they make a sequel for this game, the sequel's gonna be really good.
Oh yeah, because now
I
they
mean,
got the bugs worked out.
I didn't, you know, they have input on what people liked, what people didn't like, and they can edit and modify. I didn't like the platforming. I'm a big fan of the Prince of Persia series. You know, God of War. Recently spent a lot of time playing the new Devil May Cry game. That's a platformer. But I really like platforming, and I hated that chevron because it took all the fun out of platforming.
Yeah, most of the time, game developers don't want something just obvious. Like, I guess Uncharted did it well, Uncharted 2, where it just had, like, there was something yellow, like a platform you could climb. And in The Last of Us, I noticed that police tape is used whenever you need to go somewhere because it's bright yellow and it just highlights, and there's light for the path you need to go. Just when in doubt, put a shaft light, people will go toward it. But that little bug just detracts from all that. It's just holding your hand all the way through for the platforming.
So we can say that although the combo system was refreshing, the actual fighting was very monotonous.
Yeah, I want to say one more thing about the fighting. I thought it was interesting enough to actually watch her fight, but when you would have to evade the enemy, I want to say like 20 minutes just on one fight alone because the little red exclamation point would always pop up. Well, there's an enemy that's going to come and attack you. I need to flip over this guy. And then I'd forget where I was in the combo, and then it would just become extremely monotonous. And all I could think of was, you know, there's 5 enemies attacking me. Of course, one of them is going to be mid-attack. So I spent most of my time jumping over each enemy trying to not get hit.
Yes. So, I mean, there's a flaw in the fact that there's no parry system in the game. There's a plus in the fact that you can continue your combos after dodging.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, all this in and out is good and it's bad and it's good and it's bad. It's so hard for me to tell if I like this game.
The combat system I felt was like the kind of beta testing of the Batman Arkham series, because it felt like that. If it was made more like that with the making your own combos thing, I think it would have been great. Just this game had so many great things, but it came short on a lot.
It ran out of steam. That's all that happened.
So what would you guys have to say about the story?
The story, well, it's basically a video game rendition of Total Recall. So, I mean, I really think that playing through this, it would have made a good movie, but nobody would have watched it because we've already seen 2 Total Recall movies. The best part of the game lies in the story, is that you're hoarding memories, you're changing people's memories so that you can alter their personalities to benefit your caused. And the actual scenes where you go in and play with people's brains was really, really fun.
That was awesome.
That was
Trial
so
and error.
spectacular.
It was the only part of the game that got my heart racing.
See, I was wondering, why do they not have more sequences of that?
Exactly.
Because it's all about, remember me. It's all about memories. It's all about remixing memories. And then you do it 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such an interesting mechanic, and having the first sequence, it's you have to kill this woman's husband while she's in a surgery, and it's weird. Like you're
moral.
clearly you're not the moral hero right
No,
here.
not
you
at all.
are you are the bad guy in a sense. You're a revolutionist, I guess, but. It was just so great where you're changing this woman's perceptions of she was about to kill you to, I think the story is she was about to kill you to pay for her husband's medical expenses, and now she's helping you because her husband died.
In her memory.
Yeah, in her memory, which it's so freaking cool.
I know.
It's like, it's Total Recall, but so weird and trippy, and there's so many like influences of this game.
Yeah, and I mean, other than the fact that it's just shortcomings. Great idea, great story, great concept, but just you start the story as a girl who has no memory of her past, who gets saved by some guy who she doesn't know who he is to overthrow some superpower world government, and the whole game's about altering memories. It's kind of hard to not see a major plot twist coming.
Nah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not saying there's a major plot twist, but it's hard to not speculate.
Yeah.
You remember when they spoilered the spoiler in the spoiler?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. I had to like stop, pause the game, like write down a list. Yep, okay. All right, well, that does it for our story, I think. We can take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hello, loyal viewers. I'm back. They're on a water break right now. So I'm here to talk to you about our reaction to the Xbox 180. So as a result of this, Microsoft's little switcheroo kind of left me with more questions than answers about the console and the future of gaming. So the original always on, always connected, and always managed DRM features of the Xbox One was a little more than off-putting for me. What was more concerning was the reaction from independent game developers like Phil Fish, who made Fez, Jonathan Blow, who made Braid, and Team Meat of Super Meat Boy about the general treatment they've received from Microsoft. And it wasn't positive. Fish has already said on Twitter and on multiple news releases that he will not publish another game with Microsoft. But I was initially excited about the idea of the Xbox One kind of being the media singularity in the living room. Like a lot of voices in gaming, I felt that they were trying to make a media center that played games, and I was okay with that. The idea that games are synonymous with everyday media entertainment kind of makes me joyful that people have more exposure to games. But they lost me when I couldn't exclusively control what I did with the game that I bought. When the Kinect, although greatly improved from the current one that's out, was required for the Xbox One to function, and when I felt like I would be babysat with once-a-day check-ins to make sure I was playing nice with their DRM. So after E3, where Sony was easily able to use these as pot shots against Microsoft, they became the most hated thing on the internet, even more than Jar Jar Binks. That's talent. So June 19th, Microsoft turned the Xbox One into the Xbox 180, and the internet rejoiced, for the most part. After reading all the victorious posts that the company listened to the customers, I kind of let that sink in. So yes, companies exist to serve the public audience that they want. At least I thought. But after hearing Don Mattrick, and I quote, "Fortunately, we have a product for people who aren't able to get some form of connectivity, and it's called the Xbox 360. And then realizing that they didn't flip after E3 when the internet exploded in disapproval, but waited until pre-sales began and realized that they were getting outsold 4-1 by Sony. This reversal is unquestionably a currency-driven change. Although I'm surprised they actually listened to the public, I'm also slightly terrified that we do have so much sway. Now, I'm not saying that we should be the welcome mat to corporate intentions, but we also need to be open to new ideas. Keeping the DRM would have funneled the profits to the publishers and not game resellers. And because of that, I think that the model that the Xbox One will be where console gaming is heading. So as a general caution, I want to be sure that we let changes happen. They may work out and they may not, but we have to try them. I would love to see the Xbox One come out in its original iteration and in the newly disconnected iteration for people to actively choose from. So taking an example from the past, if Henry Ford would have listened to the masses, we would have been buying a faster horse. In closing, shutting out indie developers, alienating your audience, and belittling them are not part of a good business strategy. Microsoft, I love you, but I don't like you right now. Please come back to me.
Welcome back to Heads Up Display. We've given you the gameplay overview and a story overview. Now we're going to give you our final thoughts on the game, what we think should happen next, or what they could have done better, and then our scores. Lawrence.
Well, I'm going to be very lenient on this one and give it a 7 because it's new IP. It was striving so hard to do so many things, and every point in this game I was like, oh, this is cool. It's not done as well. This is cool. It's not that good either. But this is all, no, I can't. I want to root for this game, and I wish they had thrown more money at it. I hope it gets a sequel so it's done better. But I liked it. I'm going to be leaning on it because I like new IP and give it a 7.
Well, I feel the same way that if they do make a sequel, it's going to be great. It's like, Uncharted 1 had a lot of cool ideas and it was good. It was good. And Uncharted 2 came out and it was great.
It was
amazing.
sweet.
So I feel, especially with this being a new IP, it has a lot of potential. I'm going to give it a 5, not because of on aspect of the whole game, but the story was okay, the gameplay, it all came together as a nice little package, but individually breaking it down, the gameplay, the controls weren't good, the fighting wasn't good, the platforming was terrible, the story was predictable, but with so many original ideas in it, it has so much potential. Please give me another sequel, or a sequel.
I would like to second that. If there is another sequel, I will buy it just without even reading any reviews of it. Mm-hmm. I thought that it was refreshing to see a female lead actually, going in there, kicking butt, just being awesome in general, and not being helpless. So that for me was refreshing. Secondly, I love the story. I think that it was a really cool take on it. Would it work as a movie? It has in Total Recall. But I don't know, I can't, this was the game that I was so excited for. I think I hyped myself up too much for it, and it was my own personal present after I finished my comprehensive exam, so that was kind of a big deal for me. I put that thing up on a pedestal, and it didn't live up to my expectations, especially with combat and moving. So I'm gonna give this one a 6, and just call it with that.
Are you giving it extra points because of palindromes?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, for those.
Yeah, Don't Nod is the production company, I believe, or the publisher.
No, it's the It was published by Capcom.
Okay. Yeah, Don't Nod. Write it down and then read it backwards and forwards, palindrome. And then Nilin, another palindrome.
Doctorate student.
Right. You're blowing my mind.
Okay, so that gives the total score for Heads Up Display a 6.
Yep.
6 it is. Thanks for joining us today. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. See you next week.
Future Lawrence, end it there. Right there.
Raphael is the worst Ninja Turtle ever.
He is.
Future Lawrence, remember to put that in.